Report a shot fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
We have one officer shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the warehouse.
Now it's Shots Fired with your hosts TJ Kirgin, Dinah Death Milberg, and the lovely Krystal Powers.
The ultimate biatch.
Gone but not forgotten.
Nancy Pelosi, after years of destroying this country.
Decades
of destroying this country. She has finally conceded and stepped down as Speaker of the House as the Republicans have finally taken control of the House by a narrow margin.
Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah! Welcome to Shots Fired, everybody. We are in the celebratory mode for multiple reasons. Number one, because the witch is dead. But that doesn't mean that the threat is over, because actually the threat is worse than it's ever been. We'll get into that. Her legacy lives on. That does suck. But the other reason we're celebrating today is because it is an anniversary.
Oh, yay.
An anniversary of sorts. Krystal Powers has been on this SHIT show for one whole year. So we are in a temporary studio until we get the new studio built.
I vote Gunwall.
Yeah, she's voting Gunwall. We are working on Gunwall. That's gonna be pretty cool. But so anyway, congratulations on 1 year.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I can't believe you've kept showing up for this long.
I know, me too.
Alex is not showing up though. That's for sure.
Well,
because he is under the weather.
Well, that's his
Dinah
fault.
Death
How
Milberg
dare he?
has the creeping crud, which he doesn't normally get. He must have ate some tainted crayons over Veterans Day.
Makes sense.
And, got some sort of sickness, the COVID or the herpes or the AIDS.
Hopefully
Something
none
like
of
that.
None of those
You can't get AIDS from crayons?
You know what? I don't know. Let's moving on.
Moving on. So the election is almost over, even though it was supposed to be over, a week ago Tuesday? So
yeah, but you know what?
We're literally at as of this recording, this is Thursday, airing on the radio Saturday morning. If you're listening Saturday morning on one of the Real Talk stations, good morning to you. But it's been over a week, and we're still getting the results from this election that are, so many of them too close to call. How do you feel about that?
You're asking how I feel about people lying to my face?
Yes, that's so you feel like you're being lied to your face.
No, I don't feel like it. That's what's happening.
You know it. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. You look in Pennsylvania, you look in states like Arizona, you look in Nevada, and Nevada was, the Republicans have Nevada. We're giving Nevada to the Republicans, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe, shortly before it suddenly swung to the left, and they immediately announced it a win for the Dems, taking the Senate majority away from the Republicans. I'm pretty sure my son showed me that a day or two before that happened, the videos in the Nevada ballot counting room or whatever went down just like they did in the Epstein cell at the prison. They went down for 8.5 hours.
Oh, that's all? I'm sure nothing happened.
I'm sure.
It was probably like a leaked water main, or, these things happen.
Yeah.
Or a ballot dump in the middle of the night. I don't know.
I'm really watching the Kerry Lake race out in Arizona. They're now saying that now she's, they're calling the media, them, the media. They're saying that her opponent, Hobbs or Dobbs or
something,
whatever, who was also the electoral overseer, right? How could you...
It's a coincidence,
How
TJ.
can you be in the election and be the one responsible for overseeing the electoral process?
In like any other realm, that would be the largest...
Contradiction,
conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, yes. Yes, but anyway, so Kerry, if you're listening, please do everything you can to fight this. Never concede. sue. We have to fight for at least the governorship of Arizona. We've already lost the Senate seat in Arizona. What's important about the governor? I think what we've seen before is that the governor can change the state from within and protect the integrity of the election process like DeSantis has done in Florida.
Well, I totally agree with you. And I feel like people forget how impactful small government is on their daily life in comparison to, the president. For example, I mean, he can say whatever he wants at the end of the day, but your governor...
Yeah, most of it doesn't make sense.
Your governor is ultimately going to be the one who's going to, or is supposed to, represent you and your interests. And there's so much more... I mean, again, they're supposed to be much more accountable
if you get Carrie Lake in there, within 4 years, she will have put people in prison for voting fraud, just like DeSantis did. DeSantis imprisoned people in Miami-Dade. He imprisoned people in Broward. He imprisoned people in the Orlando area. And even in this recent election, they would constantly be putting press releases out that so-and-so was just arrested for voter fraud. And so they enforced the rules. They changed some of the rules. Now, some of the liberals could say that's the conservatives doing their thing to steal elections.
Right.
But by the governor is the only way that we can protect the elections from being stolen. So unless you get a Republican governor in places like Pennsylvania or in places like Arizona, do we have a Republican governor in Georgia? I think we do, don't we? Didn't they get didn't...
You know what? I didn't keep track of it. The only person in Georgia I was watching was Marjorie.
Oh, okay.
Marjorie Taylor?
Yeah, she's the one that
Green,
that finally conceded, right?
No, I thought she won.
Oh, she won. Yeah.
I thought she did. Maybe I should check.
I should probably check.
There's a lot of states going on
Well, the only
here.
election I was watching in Georgia was the Herschel Walker. Because the Georgia Senate seat was supposed to be the swing seat. It was supposed to be the biggest fight. That's where the Democrats sent all their money. That's where Moms Demand Action and George Soros and all the anti-gun organizations sent their money to fight Herschel Walker in Georgia.
Wait a second. Wasn't that where all of the FTX money was laundered?
That's a whole other story. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, are you up on the FTX thing? I just know that some douchey-looking guy was a multi-billionaire at 30 years old, donated a bunch of money to the Democrats in this election. Money that he donated was then funneled to the Ukraine, and then suddenly his crypto organization, FTX, his trading platform, which was run by a chief financial officer that was right out of college with zero experience, and worth hundreds of billions of dollars in market capital, crashed and burned, and all that money just vaporized, including his $16 billion. So he went from $16 billion to zero really quick, and he should be in prison or 6 feet underground. Because there's obviously some crazy stuff going on.
Succinctly, yeah.
And of course the media is not really talking about it because it's only hundreds of billions of dollars.
It's just laundering things.
Yeah, it's just money laundering of hundreds of billions. When people get upset about Biden's going to send, like today, today being Thursday of the week before the show airs on the radio, they're voting today to send another $36 billion to Ukraine.
That's right. Or was it 47?
It might be 47 by now. But the fact is, a lot of people, number one, Americans don't comprehend money, like what a billion is, right?
Right.
Or a trillion. And the fact is, when you start looking at how many billionaires you are, and you start looking at the fact that a 30-year-old douchebag could become worth $16 billion from essentially nothing, you realize that, these numbers are really big, but the money is worth so much less now that it's really not as big as we think it is. Like, I used to think sending all these billions to the Ukraine was a big deal until I saw douchebags at 30 were worth $16 billion, or, douchebags that run Amazon are worth $140 billion, blah, blah, blah. You start to realize that, the millionaire is the old thousandaire.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. It reminds me of that song. I forget who sings it. I want to be a millionaire.
Right. Yeah, I don't know who sings it either, but you do a really good job.
Nope, that was horrible. But that's not a thing anymore. Like,
can we grab that soundbite too? Because I want to turn that into a little soundbite that we can play every once in a while.
It's not a thing. Like, you think about, what if I won the lottery and I won $1 million? Like, what are you gonna
right after taxes? That's about $600,000, and then you can almost buy a 3-bedroom flat near the coast with that.
Or like, okay, so when I listen to the radio and I hear radio stations like, we're giving away $1,000, it's like, so
wow, you're gonna pay my car phone payment this month.
That's gonna cover some people's
car phone. I just showed my age.
Like, oh, you said car phone.
I said car phone because I'm so old that I had a bag phone in my car, and there was a phone in a bag.
You were bougie.
I was. Wow. I was never bougie enough to have that fat one though, with the wireless. That really fat drug dealer phone.
Super clunky.
I did have a big fat pager though. Anyway, we got way off the tracks right there. Just like this country. We'll be back right after this.
I will be the host of Everyday Christmas.
Thanks for taking all the good we got and turning it bad. Hell, I'll be damned. I think I'm turning into my old man.
All right, we found out off the air that we do have a Republican governor in Georgia. That's pretty cool. He's green, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we do have a Republican governor in Georgia, which is good because that means that Georgia can be fixed from the inside. They can.
And when you say fixed, you're referring to the election.
Election fraud.
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that this nation has had rampant election fraud from both sides for many, many years, and we've allowed the liberals to get completely out of control with it. And all we seem to do when they do it, and it's obvious, like in Pennsylvania, all we seem to do is meme it up. The conservative or the Republican Party is feckless, spineless, and all we do when somebody wrongs us is do spicy memes.
I will say there's somebody I follow, I can't remember who like their tagline is "The left can't meme," which is kind of true.
I would agree with that.
Like they don't do humor.
I've never seen a really good meme that got me, right?
Yeah,
but
no,
I see memes
I don't
that
see them
get
at
liberals
all.
every day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just because they're too, I don't know, they don't understand the concept of humor.
Could it be their lack of intelligence? No, because I know a lot of liberals that are really smart.
No, and see, that argument is so frustrating when people disagree with each other because it's so easy to say you don't understand or you're just unintelligent when that it doesn't leave any room for conversation. I don't believe you can I believe, and this is just
you can't pigeonhole an entire party in any one thing.
100%. It just seems like the left is so much more, if you could break it down into mom and dad, the left is the mom, I'll love you no matter what, a little more emotional, and the right is the dad, nope, this is what is, strong on truth, not so easy on grace.
Makes a lot of sense, which is why the left caters more to single women, because, the old adage, if you're, and I would take the sex out of it, all 57 genders or whatever, we'll just remove that from the equation. If you're under 30 and not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're over 30 and not a conservative, you don't have a brain. Right, that's the old joke, but and of course, like what you're saying, women are more. They have more feelings. They are more. They care more about. Help me out here. What am I saying?
I don't know. Where are you?
I'm not trying to dig myself a hole. But what I'm saying
I'm hard to offend. So
so men are more. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I was trying to elaborate on what you were saying. You were describing it better than I'm able to verbalize it.
Well, I don't.
Without sticking my foot in my mouth.
It's just difficult for me to see because I'm and not just because of this Trump DeSantis, break. I'm trying to distance myself from politics more from a mental, emotional, guarding my peace standpoint.
As we're recording in a news talk conservatives radio station right now.
Just being, it feels like energy harvest. That's what it feels like. It feels like just throw another something into the pot and then people get so emotional about it because they're so married to their belief that they can't have conversation about it. And that's the part that I don't.
And all politics are designed to keep
it's so divisive, and it doesn't. I don't feel like it has to be that way, though.
People
Maybe that's me being naive. I don't know.
Seeing what's really going on in the world, or if we're trying to be involved in it, or if we're trying to profit from it, or whatever. While the rich get richer, and the rest of us are left for the scraps.
Yeah, I'm not here for it. I'm just. I've been focusing on my own personal development because I feel like that's the only way things are going to get fixed. That's within my realm of influence, whatever that is.
That's the ultimate basis of stoicism is, what can you control? Focus on those things. The things out of your control, like I can't control who wins the Senate in Georgia.
Right.
I could maybe donate some money to the Herschel Walker campaign, but I can't control it.
Right.
So what can I control? I have this microphone, and I might be able to reach enough people and influence them to donate some money. So now I have more influence, but still no control.
I don't know. It's I try to. Wait, don't take it. Oh, sorry, I forgot. He's wearing the coolest sweatshirt, and I complimented him on it, and I forgot to say that.
It's my local warlord hoodie. We just got these in stock.
Yeah, I want one.
Thanks. And now I'm wearing. This is a classic T-shirt.
Oh my gosh, his shirt says "irresponsible gun owner." That's amazing.
Actually, got this shirt from FPS Russia. Which was one of the original YouTubers famous for doing crazy blow things up with machine guns videos, and then until his manager, his social media manager, was shot in the head and killed in his office.
Okay, I just got shivers here.
A few days later,
cool.
FPS Russia was raided by the ATF and the DEA, and he was never charged. But he has been quiet ever since. The guy doesn't exist anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, that's basically what got me into this business. I was a fan of FPS Russia.
No kidding.
And I was, and I was also a fan of John Noveski, and I was a fan of Chris Kyle, and I was a fan of these people, on social media. Whether Chris Kyle, a national hero,
right.
John Noveski, an iconic rifle manufacturer, FPS Russia, just a funny dude. Right, and all three of them died, or not died. They either died or had a murder involved, and it was a very crazy time back in the early Obama days, and it made me want to get involved in social media and the Second Amendment fight.
And here you are on the radio.
And here I am, Mom, on the radio. Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of why I'm here too, trying to. I don't know, use whatever influence I have to.
So you're focused on what you can control.
Well, yeah,
which is you. What you take in, what you think, what you say,
and how I treat people,
and how you treat yourself.
Well, yes, that's a huge one, and who I allow around me. It's an even
bigger one than a lot of people think. It's actually one of my problems. I could treat everybody around me great. I can show gratitude. I can show love. I can show respect.
Are you the type of person who's so hard on yourself?
When I walk down the hallway and I'm like, I am such an idiot, or
no,
God, I hate fill in the blank, or woe is me BS. And now I've been really trying to stop it because negative self-speak is bad, right? Because even if you don't mean it, your brain doesn't. Like it's a nail in your.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I've been trying to curate some content for social media on this exact topic because when it comes to fitness, it's such a huge, it's more impactful than I can put into words, the way you talk to yourself about yourself.
Right, whether it's in the mirror, in your head.
All in your head, yeah.
I used to do it at shooting matches, or at training, so that we could equate this to guns. I would get up there and I'd fire my course of fire, and I'd have a couple mics or some misses or some Charlies, some things that I shouldn't have, or I'd shoot a no shoot, and I would just beat myself up, like, God, why are you doing this? You suck. You're nowhere near as good as that dude. Like, why are you even here, bro?
Oh my gosh.
And then you talk yourself into that, and between that and the adrenaline control problem that I had early on in my shooting competition career, it really kept me down until I finally realized that that was all bad for you. You need to not have that negative self-speak, self-think.
That's it.
Self-treat.
It's so limiting, and it can be potentially so destructive.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I like the whole idea of mindset is such a do we need to go?
Yeah,
we
my
need
mindset
to go.
is that we need to make a break. So we're going to come back and we're going to keep talking about the mindset, because that's a great thing. Remember, just let me leave you with this: love yourself more. Just remember, masturbating too much is a problem.
Okay.
God, I suck at this radio stuff.
Don't do it.
What?
No, you don't.
Oh, are we live? See, that's the kind of negative self-speak that we're talking about. And you were talking about mindset, and mindset in the self-defense, mindset in self-protection, mindset in everything we talk about on this show is a very important thing. So where are you going with that?
I think it's the most important thing. I think what you believe is more important than anything you possibly may ever do.
What you believe about yourself?
Just in general. Like,
Just
beliefs and ideas are more impactful. Like, they will outlast your life.
So the fact that I believe that we, that humans were on this earth a lot longer ago before now, and that we were all put here by aliens, that's important to me? Sorry,
I mean, you can take it that
I'm watching
way.
a Netflix special, and Joe Rogan says it's true, so I completely believe it. Podcasters are always right.
So, what was the question?
The question? Oh, well, the question was about mindset, and you said what you believe is the most important thing. Your
well, yeah, what you believe, like the way this is along the lines of like your perception creates your reality, and if you choose to see, for example, I don't know, the positives, then you will look at life in a more positive way. If you think
if you
they're
look
coming to get me and everything sucks, then that's what you're going to see, and that's what you're ultimately going to put out in the world.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Again, in Stoicism, because this is something I've been studying. I am not a Stoic, but I love some of the Stoic philosophies.
Just based on what you're saying, I think I'm a Stoic. I don't even know if that's the correct verbiage.
I strive to be Stoic. And one of the things in Stoicism is the obstacle is the way. There's actually a book, The Obstacle is the Way. It's written by a complete libtard. You can tell because he completely waxes off Obama as a Stoic philosopher or whatever. But the book is great. The obstacle is the way. So you look at this election. We've lost this. We never had it to win. But we did not get the Senate. It's not going to happen unless there's some sort of miracle. I don't even see it. There's no road to it. We've lost the Senate. That has all kinds of bad stuff. And so when I look at that, I think of just the negatives, and I think of, okay, now we're in for at least another 2 years of recession, destruction, the ruining of people's lives, the changing of fortunes, and it's a very negative thing. And so the other day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, okay, it happened. You have no control over that. What I need to do is I need to figure out, how can I use this big negative to affect a positive in some way, whether that's financially or in my business or, whatever. And so I still haven't figured that out, by the way. I'm not sure how we can find any glimmer of hope or goodness in the fact that we didn't get the Senate, especially in the firearms community, because according to the pre-election data, they only needed 2 Senate seats to flip in order to get the assault weapons ban. Right. I think they are almost there. I think Georgia, you look at Georgia, it won't get us the majority in the Senate, but if we lose it, there's a darn good chance your Glock 19 is going to be banned in this country, just like we saw just happen in Oregon, where they're Measure 114, where you now have to get permission to buy a gun from local law enforcement and have your fingerprints on file and photograph and
that's right.
Blah 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 blah. California style gun laws. I think they're going to get it. I look at that and I think, again, giant negative. That's going to hurt my ability to sell guns. That's going to hurt my ability to sell ammunition. And how can where is the silver lining in that?
This quote from my grandma popped into my head. There's opportunity in chaos, and I think it's going to get more chaotic. Yeah. But that also means that people are going to need somebody to look to for encouragement.
Sure. But you know what? There used to be hope in chaos when gun laws would almost pass, or when when the liberals would come after guns with their guns blazing.
Right.
But this year we've not seen that. We have not seen any spikes in sales, and when I say we, I'm not talking about just TacticalSht. I'm talking about the entire industry. We have not seen any spikes in sales from fear or panic because of legislation. And that's the first time we've ever seen that kind of flatline. Flatline means death.
Yeah.
But it's not because people don't care. I think it's because the average American is feeling pressure at the pump, pressure at the grocery store, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have the disposable income to buy more guns and buy more ammo. The only good news is my mission when I got into this business was to arm every American, to proliferate AR-15s and 5.56 and AKs and 7.62 by 39, to put as many of those as I could in the streets. In the homes of Americans.
You're so controversial, and I love how you embrace it.
Well,
it works
because I knew, back in 2013 that, the only thing that protects liberty is a gun.
Well,
from tyranny, which, are we there yet? I don't think we're there yet, but someday we might be. Someday it might be my kids' kids. But I want to protect, their rights to protect themselves against evil, criminals, and the government. Governments, both.
The biggest one there. Well, I was just going to say, having arming yourself is so important. And just as important is having the mindset, just bringing it back to mindset, is having the knowledge of when it's bad enough and having the courage to do something about it, and the wisdom to know when.
You're basically saying the Lord's, what is that, the acceptance prayer?
Oh, the AA.
Yeah. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Is that really what it is?
Yes.
Oh,
that's the serenity prayer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Quinky-dink.
Yeah. Because it's, hey, you know what? The AA platform is built off of a portion of Christianity, which that portion of Christianity that spurred AA was built off of Stoicism, acceptance. And, you have to think about what the prayer just said. It kind of goes back to what you and I were saying, right? God grant me the peace, the serenity, to accept the things I can't change.
Right.
I can't change the fact that Biden's an idiot and he's fictitiously running the country.
Right.
To the wisdom to know the things that I can, which is me, myself, my actions, my thoughts, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? I didn't say the prayer right. But
Man, here I am thinking, I just had this, really great quote, and I probably subconsciously got it from some person who was quoting.
It could have been. If they followed it up with one day at a time, man, keep coming back. You know they went to an AA meeting.
Yeah, I just don't, it's...
My God, we should start having 2A meetings.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Can you imagine it? A big round table. You got white dude, black dude, white woman, teenager, everybody's sitting around, and, somebody sits down and they're like, hi, I'm TJ and I'm a gun owner. And everybody's like, hi, TJ.
Can we make this happen?
It's been about 40 days since the last time I shot my Glock, because my 9mm that I bought last year was 50 cents a round, and everybody's like, "It's okay, TJ," patting him on the back, and then at the end of the thing, everybody gives you a hug, you all hold hands, you say what would they say? They wouldn't say the Lord's Prayer. They would say something like,
I have no idea.
Maybe they would quote the Second Amendment.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody would say the Second Amendment together, holding hands in a big circle. You know
what? This sounds like what, if I was liberal, I would assume what a militia meeting sounds like or something.
Oh my God. AA is a non-for-profit. We can make 2A a non-for-profit. We could literally make it self-funding, and we could help gun owners deal with the fact that they have to, that they need to try to find some sort of hope.
I'm here for it.
I think that's a great idea.
Take it and run.
Yeah, I like it. This is how beautiful ideas are born.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, there is hope for the future.
Speaking of beautiful ideas, we are going to be shooting some new videos this week.
On what?
Well, I need to get a Santa outfit.
Oh.
Yeah. You know how people call me Tactical Santa all the time, and I hate it?
I didn't know either of those things, but now I do. And
so
mental notes to never call you that.
Some of my Tactical SHT head fans, we call them Tactical SHI.
Bless.
Oh, never mind. I almost did the vowel. We call them, it's kind of like parrot heads, right?
Uh-huh.
And so those guys, they've been around a long time. It's probably like 20% of my customer base, 20% of the people listening to me, they call themselves that, and it's because I started calling them that on videos. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what the hell I was saying about that. We might have to cut
Tactical
right there.
Santa?
Oh, it was Tactical Santa, yes. So I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old.
We're all getting older. It's okay.
So there's a couple things they know pushes my buttons in social media comments.
I can't deal when guys do that. I can't deal. Guys are so mean to each other.
Yeah. So the one is skip leg day, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just mean.
I mean, I could literally do leg day every day of the week and get my quads just flexing hardcore and get into the tightest of thigh huggers or silkies, take a picture in mid squat, and some D-bag fan of mine would say, skip leg day, bro. And it just irks me. The other one is, and it's more organic because people say it not knowing it bothers me, is, dude, you look like tactical Santa Claus. Hey, Tactical Santa. Because I have a gray beard.
So you're just going to embrace it.
But to me, Santa's a fat guy with a big shiny red nose.
Yeah, you're neither of those.
I have a big schnoz, but it isn't shiny.
Yeah. And you're not fat, so
no, I'm pretty probably
you're pretty fit, actually.
I have the lowest body fat of my life, thanks to Precision Fitness in St. Louis. Jamie Spicer, yeah.
Did you happen to know just out of my own curiosity, what your body fat percentage is?
I don't know right now. I really don't.
Because I've been meaning to find one of those DEXA
in the last
scanners.
3 or 4 months, the meal plan, I follow a nutrition plan that he gives me. And we did a plan to make me look good on pictures in the islands. And it worked. I actually have abs for the first time.
Nice.
And not just 4 of them. I have all 6.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. If you're interested in a meal plan, though, Jamie Spicer at Precision Fitness and Medical Spa in Creve Coeur, Missouri. Just Google it, Precision Fitness, and if you're out of town, you can still do your meal plan. No matter where you're listening, whether it's Rolla or Colorado or California or whatever, and you mix that with a good workout from a guy like Dom Rosso with the Armor Up program. And you too can look as good as me, and people will still make fun of your legs.
That's just not cool.
But anyway, so I'm actually going to do. I'm not going to say anything else. We're going to do a Tactical Santa parody video, and I'm going to star in it as Santa because
So you're embracing this.
Absolutely.
You're taking the haterade and you're using it to fuel your furtherance to make yourself money.
That's literally how I built this entire company. Was fueling from the haterade.
Love it.
Because if I post something and I don't get hate, I feel like I've missed the mark.
I don't know how you deal with that.
Yeah. Last night, my favorite was I posted a reel on my Sig Glock and Colt Instagram page. And I can't really say the word, I don't think, on the air because we do have a radio show.
What does it rhyme with?
Wussy.
Okay.
And so, and the reel was a video of my Mercedes G-Wagon, my Nissan R32 Skyline Godzilla, and my Lamborghini Performante, all in my garage on my shiny floor. And the video goes from one car to the other, and the guy says, I may have spent a lot of money on dumb stuff in my life, but I've never paid $5 to look at a B-words wussy on OnlyFans.
Wow. Those audio clips are just, sometimes they really bring it home.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one of the, because we have to go to break, the best hate that I got off of it, it was real hate too. This guy wasn't trying to be funny. He's like, well, the only time you see wussy is when you look in the mirror.
And you're like, I'm married, bro.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. It actually means you probably don't see wussy very often. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the last segment of Shots Fired, the weekend edition. This is TJ Kirgin, a.k.a. Sig Glock and Colt, your local warlord. You know why? Because I was wearing the hoodie that says local warlord on it. And we're here with the local warlord-ette. Lourdes?
Ooh, Lourdes. That sounds fun.
What would a female Lord of War be called?
I don't know. Just call me Empress. I'm cool
Empress.
with it.
Yes. Krystal Powers, the Empress of War.
This is just getting retarded.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it.
It's
So,
cool.
did you know that there's a county in California called YOLO?
I do now.
Yeah, YOLO, Y-O-L-O. Like you only live once, right?
Wild.
Well, they are, making their they are taking it another step further by making California gun laws even more ridiculous by requiring safe storage. They're expanding the safe storage, the California Safe Storage Act, to vehicles. So now they're requiring people to lock up their guns if they're in their car. So, good luck getting carjacked in YOLO.
Isn't there some civil rights issue with that since your vehicle is...
Well, it's a constitutional rights issue.
That's what I meant.
Civil rights too,
Yes.
How can you tell me I can't protect myself against the criminals that your policies create?
Oh, yeah. I get almost daily updates from... There's one page that I follow that... it was Recall Gascon, but that didn't pass, and now they changed their name. But basically, they just talk about all they post these days is people who have committed a crime, who have been arrested, who...
And who's this?
It's just a page that I follow
Just a
on
page,
Instagram.
that's what they post?
That's all they post is just news. But lately, all it has been is people who've committed crimes, who've been arrested, who then zero bail. They're back out on the street, and then they commit the same crime again.
Right, which is what all of Illinois is facing starting in January.
Yes.
And other states are already under that rule. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, sadness. It's a downer.
Well, Illinois is facing an assault weapons ban right now. It looks like they'll probably get it. They as soon as the election was over, they moved to push an AR-15 ban in Illinois.
It's crazy.
They already have banned the SBR and suppressors and things like that, but the rifle was never banned in the state. You had to have a FOID card to own it. But Oregon passed a motion, or Measure 114.
Yes.
By a narrow margin. It was almost too close to call. That basically
it's a coincidence.
It's the worst gun laws in the history of the country. I mean, Oregon is with Measure 114 has worse gun laws than California,
which is impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Good job, Oregon.
That's how I view things. You just have to be optimistic about it. Like, hey, you got the idiot award, but it's an award.
So in Oregon, now there are some lawsuits coming out of Firearms Policy Coalition and Gun Owners of America to fight it, but don't hold your breath. It's gonna go into effect unless they get a stay, or a what do you call it, an order to hold it. If they can show enough to the right judge, they might be able to get it postponed while they fight it.
Right.
But it literally makes gun ownership no longer a right. You have to get permission from law enforcement to buy one. Not to own one. You have to have the permission from the local law enforcement, I guess, or state law enforcement to buy a gun.
Really, I thought it was just the high capacity.
Oh no, well that's ban. It. So once you get permission from the sheriff to buy a gun, then that gun cannot have a capacity of more than 10 rounds.
That's right. Yeah. I had this quote here from. It's a side quote, but it's also funny. Michael Fuller, who's a Portland civil rights lawyer, he is quoted saying, "My preferred concealed carry weapon does not have more than 10 rounds in its magazine anyway. So I figured that passing 114 would make it less likely that I would be outgunned if I were in a gunfight with an active shooter."
Wow. So assuming an active shooter is going to follow your ridiculous law and only load his AR-15 or his AK-47 to 10 rounds, now you have a fighting chance. That is the mindset of idiots.
And
now we're right back where we started. Liberals are idiots. All of them. Sorry. I'm done. I'm not saying Democrats are idiots, but if you are a leftist, liberal,
well, he's an
libtard,
attorney, so that's the first strike against him.
if you are nearing and or over the line of socialist, F you, you're an idiot.
I mean,
are we okay with me saying that?
I would say that.
You
in
think we're losing
words.
any listeners right now?
No.
So I'm not going to get any hate for that?
Well, I didn't say that.
How can we get some hate today? You know what? If you're listening to this podcast, or, if you're listening to the radio show on Saturday and you want to throw us some fake hate just for fun, you can do that through the radio station app, the Real Talk 93.3 app. Throw us some hate. Krystal and I, we will try to remember to be on the app to enjoy the hate at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Actually, I'll be able to do that. Might be able to engage with the app. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can throw hate all day long on any of the channels in the comments section.
Or throw some hate on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy arguing with people on the internet.
What is your Instagram address?
It's Ready Aim Throttle.
Ready Aim Throttle?
Yeah.
At Ready Aim Throttle?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because my fitness Instagram, it's so shadow banned, nobody can find it anymore. It's so frustrating. I keep talking about things they don't want me to talk about.
It's okay. Ready Aim Throttle's good, and that's because you have a love of all things firearms freedom and motorcycles, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to be shifting over my motorcycle content to more firearm related since it's really just too chilly to enjoyably ride right now.
Yeah.
Sadness.
I actually I get to go hunting in my neighborhood this week coming up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of my neighbors. Now, this is a beautiful thing, too, because my HOA doesn't allow gunfire. But that's why suppressors are awesome. My neighbor,
it's a strong case.
All of us have 5-acre lots, and like both of our lots back to a heavily wooded area that's undeveloped. A lot of city park and state park back there, and it backs to a hill. You could shoot into it, no problem. But anyway, his security cameras have caught some coyote on the cameras in the last couple days, which is not unusual. His security cameras are always catching coyotes in our back lots. The problem is the coyote that he sent me today is extremely full of mange. And so it's greatly concerning. I'll show you a picture. You can't see it on the radio. But so this coyote is completely manged up. And it's the bad kind of mange, where all the fur's fallen off and it's got sores all over it and its tail's got no fur on it.
Put him out of his misery.
And so we've all got dogs, right? My buddy's got German Shepherds. I've got Great Danes. I'm not worried about that coyote being a threat to them physically biting or attacking or anything. Although they do run in packs back there, and I have heard them attack, but they're probably attacking rabbits or something, deer, baby deer. But this one's got to go because I don't need my Great Danes or his German Shepherds catching mange, which is extremely contagious. It's a mite-based disease. And so we're going to use the Missouri laws that say that coyote season is 24 hours a day, 12 months a year.
Really? I didn't know that.
It is, and no license is required, and you can also use thermal, night vision, and suppressor. So, we're gonna try to establish a pattern of behavior. And then we're going to use night vision to identify which one is the mangy one or ones, and then we will pop them as needed, hopefully with suppressed 3 under blackout, so we don't wake up the kids in the neighborhood. But so I'm looking forward to that.
Just taking care of the problem.
Yeah, I'm putting him out of his misery because he's obviously not healthy in any way, but also protecting our own animals. And that's the kind of, that's a perfect example of why I need my AR-15, Mr. Biden. It's not just to protect myself against you and your minions. It's not just to protect myself against Chinese invasion. It's not just to protect myself against home invaders. Which
are all extremely relevant reasons.
Right.
Can I just say?
Well, you know what? I'm probably more likely to have a violent home invasion in today's America than my dog getting mange from that coyote. There's probably some sort of statistic that makes that more likely. Yeah,
you know what? I actually was just reading that, and I think this was a little bit, can I say clickbaity?
Yeah, clickbait's okay.
I mean, it wasn't clickbaity. I think it was sensationalism. That's the word. 1 out of every 179 Americans will eventually be murdered if crime rate continues.
1 out of 179.
Yeah.
Okay.
If.
Well, that's almost the end of the show. So if there's 179 of you listening,
let's leave it on a positive note.
one of you are going to get murder whacked and dirt napped by some sort of criminal because
There's
the way this
keyword.
So all
if was the keyword.
But it is going to continue. So all of you have one homework, and that is to carry every day, carry everywhere. But as you do that, and before you do that, get training. Train. We'll be back next week with more, I don't know, tomfoolery.
Oh, good
I was
word.
trying to find a clean word to end the show with. Tomfoolery.
Just, okay, bleep it out.
Did you just say that on the air?
I was like, why are you dancing around the word? Oh, that's why.
We're out. We'll see you next week.
My name is